Who were some of those major celebrities that Diddy actually trafficked you to?
Jacob the jeweler. The others are from European countries and of a royalty. Very royal. Very royal.
Like princes, that type of thing?
Definitely a prince.
Whoa.
The opposite of being smooth. If you have smooth arms as opposed to hairy.
Ooh. So we're talking about the one that's newly married to the biracial lady.
That's the only prince. That's the only prince I know.
Okay. Damn, y'all.
Allegedly.
Well. I wonder what Meghan Markle thinks of this, because this was in the pre-Meghan Markle days. Makes a lot more sense now about why he's trying to censor Americans. Why he is so concerned about misinformation. Perhaps there's some misinformation out there about him. Harry. Folks, because this is starting to unravel like a big hot mess. Oh, yes. And that's what we're talking about today. Let's get into it. In Harry's book, Spare, he does mention Sean Diddy Combs, and he details his encounter with the now incarcerated P. Diddy. This account resurfaced in his book memoir after the mogul was arrested in Manhattan, and several lawsuits were then filed against him. So Diddy lodged in Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center. That's where he awaits until his trial. Now, Harry and his older brother, William, were introduced or met with Diddy during the benefit concert that was organized in Harry and William's late mother, Princess Diana's honor, in July of 2007. And to mark the 10th anniversary of his mother's death, William and Harry, they organized a concert in her honor. Now, the proceeds were going to go to Diana's favorite charities and to the new charity that Harry launched, sent to Bali. Now, Harry and William were helping to plan this benefit concert. The event would have been Princess Diana's 45th birthday and the 10th anniversary of her death. Now, according to the BBC, there were two guests that P. Diddy always wanted to meet. He always wanted to meet William and Harry. This was a big goal of his, to meet them. P. Diddy's former publicist, Rob Shutter, was told to invite the royals to his parties. And they got more than 10 invitations to P. Diddy parties after this benefit concert. And also the former publicist of Diddy said that P. Diddy had framed photos of William and Harry that he kept on his property. So this was a big goal of P. Diddy's. He really, really wanted to meet these royals because Diddy thought himself as to be a king. He believed that being in the presence of real royalty put him on the same mark as somebody who, was royalty, and he considered himself a king. I mean, we can't deny that. He did act as if he was a king. It was later explained that Diddy wanted to become the party king of New York. So with that in mind, the publicist went on to say it makes perfect sense that he would like to have two princesses in his entourage. Now, the rapper was reportedly so eager to have them in attendance that he allegedly offered to pay for their travel, accommodations, and security bills. Inevitably, these incentives weren't enough to convince the princes, who never showed up. We look at it now as that was very smart, considering what we know now about P. Diddy. P. Diddy's parties, in particular, his annual white party, had attracted scrutiny as the full scope of Diddy's allegedly sprawling criminal enterprise comes into view. Now, according to federal prosecutors, Diddy used physical and emotional abuse to entrap the women in his orbit. We have to remember that because of what we just heard this young lady say. Supplying them with drugs, forcing them to participate in a lot of debauchery, nefarious things around doing the nasty. He's also been charged with S trafficking and racketeering, among other crimes. Now, he's also been hit with several lawsuits, some of which speak to the party specifically. A go-go dancer recently sued the performer, alleging that he had pimped her out to his guests. This was P. Diddy's mojo. This was what he did. He looked at women as objects, as candy to give out to celebrities. We have to make this make sense, everybody. We have to look at this in context to what we do know has happened and what we do know about P. Diddy. Now, according to the guests, recordings of such encounters were used as blackmail to silence people. In another lawsuit, an unnamed party goer says that attending an East Hampton's white party at 16, Diddy, under the guise of gouging the boy's star potential, demanded that he drop his pants and then grabbed his genitals. So while Diddy has denied any and all wrongdoing, some of his famous friends have come under fire for association with this disgraced entertainer. And although both princes, pictured as we see here with Diddy, Prince William and Prince Harry, Harry's name was the only one to appear in a lawsuit. Yeah, but only as an example of the level of celebrity to Diddy in which he had access to. Now, I'm just going to stop reading from here just to interject something. If you're going to drop a celebrity's name or drop a prince's name, that means you have a connection, access to this person, because you're trying to show that being involved with me gives you access to this celebrity in question. Okay, so I think the fact that only Harry's name was mentioned in this lawsuit that happened with P. Diddy as someone that he had access to, I think it says a lot to the relationship that Harry and P. Diddy had. Because you don't put the name of a prince in a lawsuit when you don't use it as access, or you haven't used it in the past as having access to this said celebrity. And it's interesting to me that only Harry's name was offered in this lawsuit. So that tells me that there was a relationship there. And you just think logically, you're not going to say or drop names of somebody that you don't have access to. Now, we know that Diddy had access to both William and Harry during the benefit that they hosted in honor of their mother, Princess Diana. But to now later say you have access to Prince Harry and you don't hear about William's name says to me that there is some kind of relationship there with P. Diddy and Prince Harry in those early days. That's what it says to me, because you just have to look logically, critically at the information to think, yeah, I could see Harry having a relationship, a continued relationship with someone like P. Diddy. Harry has been known to not really conform to the likings of true royalty, wanting to leave. He was in a lot of trouble during the time that he knew P. Diddy. During the benefit gala, he had spent some time in LA. He had gotten himself in some trouble in Las Vegas, and he wanted to party. Harry wanted to party, and so did Diddy. And so naturally, the relationship between Diddy and Harry makes a lot of sense because they have things in common. They share like-minded purposes and objectives in life. And I can see Harry partying further with Diddy after the introduction of this gala benefit on behalf of Princess Diana at the time. So it makes sense. And this is the sentence in this article that I find interesting, where it says that the rapper P. Diddy has said that he has tried and failed to get the young bucks to hang out with him. And stunning foresight on the part of some palace aide. And I can see how he wouldn't have gotten William to hang out. But I certainly can see how he would have gotten Harry to hang out. And you hear things like this put into an article, and it just says that they're trying to set the narrative and the tone that Harry never met up with P. Diddy. And this is what I have to say to this. Let's listen to what Hillary Clinton has said since the election.
The platforms, whether it's Facebook or Twitter X or Instagram or TikTok, whatever they are, if they don't moderate and monitor the content, we lose total control.
So there is definitely something that has caused people to get very nervous behind people's free will to speak. The narrative is no longer set by the people that control the narrative and that allow certain people on airwaves to speak to the masses. Pretty much anyone with a camera and internet can now speak to the masses. And this is what has started to happen. We have heard from a lot of other people, Jaguar Wright. We've heard from Allie, who talked about her connections to P. Diddy and his parties. And now people are starting to see the effects of allowing social media to have free will causes problems for some people. And they don't like this. And I believe this is why Prince Harry has been so adamant about having controls and reins over digital media. He's called the Constitution of America bonkers, our First Amendment rights bonkers. And this is just showing you that some things have happened. Because imagine this. Imagine all the things that we have heard that have come into the media for us to hear and know about, and like, oh my goodness, what? Shocking. Now imagine all the things you haven't heard. Because you haven't heard all of it. You've heard some of it, but there is a lot more that has not been said that is still out there. And this is why we don't have all the pieces just yet to connect certain things. But when you start getting little drips of information that comes out, it lets you know that the internet, the digital media platforms, the people that speak on them are slowly starting to piece together information that could be very damaging for some people. But it doesn't take away from the fact that there are things out there that have brought into question a lot of things that we have yet to know about. And I believe Prince Harry is one of them. He's in a lot of trouble, I believe, just because of the things that have not come to light. And I can just tell you, it makes a lot of sense for some people to want to have reins on social media, digital media, because it conflicts with the narrative of the people that have been affected by these platforms of free will speaking and social media. And that's all I'm going to say about this, but I find it very interesting that a young lady has been so bold to name Harry's name as someone that she was with. From the guise and influence of a P. Diddy. Because that, to me, that story makes a lot of sense considering the things that we've already known. And it just adds another piece into this big puzzle that we talk about. Okay? And, I just think we just have to wait for more to come out, but also be concerned about those that are trying to stop our voices from being heard because they do not want their deep and dark secrets to come out. And that, my friends, is all I'm going to say about that. Do you have your popcorn? Do you have your popcorn? Because, yeah, it is just a whole nother chapter just opened up that just came out of nowhere that is opened up on this story. And I can only imagine what Harry's wife thinks about this. Because this, I believe, will start to get some traction. Oh, yes. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you all in the next one.